There are places in the world where food is not merely eaten but lived, and in Aceh, food is poetry written with spice rhythm, shaped by tradition, and melody carried by love. Every grain of rice, every drop of curry speaks of a deep philosophy that blends heat, patience, and affection. Before we dive into the story of Acehnese flavors, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, because your support keeps these cultural tales alive through every video we make in this journey. We will uncover how Acehnese cuisine reflects not only a people's palate, but also their heart, from the sharp bite of chili that ignites the tongue to the tender sweetness hidden behind each spice. Acehnese dishes are a reflection of life itself, full of contrast, emotion, and devotion. So sit back and open your senses, because what you are about to taste through words is not just the spice of a dish, but the pulse of a civilization that has learned to love through its flavors. Long before Aceh became known as the veranda of Mecca, it was already a meeting place of flavors and cultures, from traders who sailed across the Indian Ocean bringing spices from the Middle East, India, and Southeast Asia. The Acehnese people learned to weave influences into harmony, creating a cuisine that burns with both fire and soul. Chili peppers, turmeric, ginger, galangal, and lemongrass were not just ingredients, but gifts that shaped identity. Each spice represented a connection between the earth and human effort. Every aroma that rose from a simmering pot told stories of generations cooking for faith, family, and future. The philosophy of Acehnese food was born from these roots, that true warmth comes not only from the spice, but from intention to cook with devotion and to serve with sincerity. Today, that tradition lives on. Every kitchen in USA becomes a sacred space where culture continues to breathe through the rhythm of chopping, grinding, and stirring. To the Acehnese, the heat of chili is not meant to punish, but to awaken. It is believed that spicy food purifies the body, releases the mind, and strengthens the soul. Eating sambal in Aceh is almost ritualistic. It binds people through shared laughter, sweat, and conversation in every home. From Banda Isa to Laksama, the making of sambal becomes a daily ceremony. Mothers grind fresh chilies by hand with salt and shallots, and while the mortar strikes the stone, stories of life flow from one generation to the next. The act of eating spicy food together symbolizes resilience and unity in USA, a land that has faced storms both from nature and history. The fire in the food mirrors the fire of the people, unyielding yet always warm. And when guests are served sambal, their acceptance of the spice becomes a sign of respect and unspoken promise that they too embrace the Acehnese way of life, passionate, honest, and deeply human. Among all Acehnese dishes, perhaps nothing embodies love and patience more than kari usa, or Acehnese curry. This dish demands time, layers of spice, and the gentle dance of fire. It cannot be rushed, just as love cannot be coconut milk. Thick and rich forms the foundation. The spices bloom slowly in hot oil, releasing fragrance that fills the air like prayer. Each stir of the spoon carries the cook's heart as they balance heat, salt, and sweetness in perfect harmony. In many Acehnese homes, cooking curry is not just a daily routine, but an offering of affection. When a mother cooks for her family, or a wife prepares for her husband, she infuses every spoonful with tenderness, knowing that the warmth of the meal will become the warmth of the home. Through this act, Acehnese cuisine becomes a language of love, spoken not through words but through flavors that linger long after the meal ends. No story of Acehnese culture is complete without its coffee, because in Aceh, coffee is not only a drink, it is a way of living. Gayo coffee, grown in the highlands, carries a deep aroma that reflects the spirit of the land, calm, strong, and wise. In every corner shop, from Takangon to Banda Usa, men and women gather not just to drink, but to connect, to exchange ideas, debate gently, and laugh freely. The coffee shop is the heart of the community, where friendship brews and peace is restored, one cup at a time. The bitterness of Gayo coffee represents honesty, while its aroma reflects serenity. Together, they mirror the balance that Acehnese people seek in life, between strength and tenderness, thought and emotion. As the steam rises from each cup, it carries more than scent. It carries the collective breath of a culture that believes love and wisdom can always be shared over a table, and a smile. Faith in USA is woven deeply into every grain of rice and drop of oil. Islam is not just a religion, but a rhythm that guides the people's way of cooking, eating, and living. In every meal there is remembrance in every bite, gratitude before meals, hands rise in prayer, thanking God for the bounty before them. After the meal, gratitude is expressed once again. It is not merely ritual, but reflection, that food is both sustenance and blessingness. Deep spirituality shapes the way Acehnese people approach their cuisine. The careful preparation, the modest portions, and the respect for every ingredient all come from the belief that to waste food is to disrespect the creators. The act of cooking itself becomes worship, a way to honor both faith and flavor through patience, humility, and love. In USA, cooking is rarely done alone. It is an act of togetherness, whether for weddings, community feasts, or daily meals. Food always brings people closer. Women gather in open kitchens, chopping onions, slicing chilies, and sharing stories. Men light fires, brew coffee, and prepare meats. Everyone contributes to create abundance. This collaboration reflects the communal values rooted in the philosophy of Gotong Royong. Social essence of food here teaches that harmony is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of cooperation and mutual respect. Every gathering around a meal becomes a small reflection of society at peace. One that thrives not because everyone is the same, but because they understand the beauty of being different yet united. Every dish in USA carries memory. The mio seg, with its rich noodles and fragrant broth, reminds of trade routes that once connected Sumatra with India and Arabia. The kua pliku dish speaks of earthiness, simplicity, and the strength of rural life. These dishes are more than food. They are edible archives, preserving centuries of cultural exchange, resilience, and identity. To taste Acehnese cuisine is to taste the living history of a people who have survived colonization, war, and disaster, yet continue to smile even as modern influences arrive. Aceh holds tightly to its recipes because they are more than flavor. They are memory, and memory is sacred. To lose a traditional recipe is to lose a part of oneself, and so the people keep cooking, passing their stories from hand to hand and plate to plate in USA. It is often the women who guard the legacy of taste. They are the quiet storytellers, who nurture both family and tradition through their kitchens. Every spice they grind, every sauce they stir becomes an act of devotion. Their role extends beyond nourishment. They teach values of patience, compassion, and respect through the rhythm of daily cooking. For them, feeding is not duty, but art and love. Intertwined, the kitchen becomes a temple where time slows down, where generations meet, and where laughter softens even the hardest of days through their hands. The philosophy of Acehnese flavor continues, unbroken, unspoken, but always felt. The world may change, but the fire these women keep alive will continue to warm the heart of Aceh for centuries. More as Acehnese cuisine travels across borders, it brings with it more than exotic taste. It carries lessons of resilience, simplicity, and gratitude. Restaurants in Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, and even New York now serve Acehnese dishes, introducing the world to a culture defined by heart, not luxury. Each plate tells of a land where spice meets serenity, where fire meets love, where struggle gives birth to beauty. In every bite, the world begins to understand that to taste ESA is to feel a people's journey from sorrow to peace, from conflict to compassion, and from pain to pride. So through its food, ESA continues to speak softly but clearly to the world, reminding everyone that love tastes best when it burns just a little. As the journey ends, the aroma of ESA lingers in memory, not because it overwhelms, but because it embraces. The spice of its cuisine teaches us that love without heat is incomplete, that patience without passion is bland. In USA, flavor is philosophy, cooking is prayer, and eating is connection. Every shared meal becomes a symbol of peace. Every dish, a story of survival and affections. So next time you taste something spicy, remember USA, because in every bite there is history, in every aroma there is hope, and in every warmth there is love. This has been our exploration of Pedas Penusinta, the philosophy of flavor in Acehnese cuisine. Thank you for joining this journey. If you felt the warmth of USA through this story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, because together we can keep the soul of culture alive through every story we tell and every flavor we share. And as the last aroma of USA fades gently from our journey, we are left with more than the memory of spice. We carry the warmth of a people who taught us that love can be expressed through flavor, that every meal is a prayer, every taste a reflection of the soul, and every shared dish a bond that connects hearts across Timanayasa. Food is not merely sustenance, it is storytelling. It is healing, it is faith wrapped in the fragrance of curry and the fire of chili. Each plate tells us that life, too, is a balance between heat and harmony, passion and patience. So, as you reflect on the beauty of this journey, remember that the true flavor of ESA lies not only in its dishes, but in the kindness and strength of its people, who have turned every grain of rice into poetry and every cup of coffee into connection. If this story has touched your heart, if you could almost taste the warmth and feel the peace behind every bite, then don't forget to show your love by clicking like. Leave your thoughts and reflections in the comments. Share this video with those who seek meaning behind culture and cuisine. And most importantly, Subscribe to Hidden World EDU to continue exploring the unseen corners of our world, where every story, every flavor, and every tradition holds a lesson worth remembering. Because together we can keep the world's hidden heritage alive, one story, one taste, and one heart at a time.